We have a new balance patch on the test server, and I of course want to go over it now since we have now finally the numbers, because Timmy just likes to put in a Pokemon and the name, but they don't tell us what they actually changed. So let's talk over them. We actually have the first one, Sableye. Honestly, a pleasant surprise, because I'm always excited when Sableye gets nerfed. I'm not sure if Sableye deserves a nerf right now, but doesn't matter what, I'm happy about it. If this Pokemon doesn't get played, I think it's for the best anyways. We have a knockoff damage nerf by quite a decent amount as well. 10% attack damage scaling and 40% base or 48 baseline less, and also less per level. That's a pretty decent nerf, but this one is probably the biggest one. HP is getting nerfed quite a lot. So it's going to be much easier to take down. Almost 400 across the board during mid-game, 4 to 500 less HP. It's quite a lot, and also the attack damage set getting nerfed by a crazy amount. 40, 50, 60 less per level, which is absolutely crazy. So Sableye getting the nerf bet very early into this patch, apparently. Again, it's on the test server. This patch will be live soon. Then we have Dragonite. We have the multi-scale damage reduction getting a buff, which is also a buff to extreme speed, because extreme speed gives you more multi-scales on the Dragonite. So that's quite nice already. 5% more damage reduction. And then we also have a take damage increase. Some more attack damage. Guys, I'm already ready for my Outrage Dragonite to just hit very hard. Every time Dragonite gets buffed, I'm just excited to play Outrage. And they're also buffing attack speed. So auto attacks are going to hit harder, and they're also going to hit much more often. So Dragonite getting some love. Not the best Pokemon right now, but I do think it's quite fine and probably can be played, doesn't matter what, right? Like, I think Dragonite is good. I play Outrage a lot for fun because I really enjoy the build. It is super, super fun. And I was actually getting a buff. Of course, Hyper Beam also getting a buff from this because you auto attack a lot in Hyper Beam as well. And also, of course, this increases Hyper Beam damage by a lot too, because it has really good attack damage scalings. Next, we have Buzzwole. Not sure if I like this buff though. So first we have Leech Life getting a heal increase, which I feel like the problem of Leech Life is not that it's getting healed, it's the problem that it gets interrupted. So maybe for like, so what if Leech Life was unstoppable for 1 second, and after that 1 second you can start cancelling it, right? But I feel like at least the start of Leech Life should be unstoppable, so it can't be cancelled instantly, because that's the biggest problem of this Pokemon with Leech Life. It just gets cancelled almost instantly. There's so many stuns in the game, you can't even have it activated, right? Then we have Superpower getting a shield increase, so Superpower also getting buffed at the same time, which is very nice. More shielding makes it more tankier. And then we also have the defense and special defense being increased, so Buzzwole getting tankier. That sounds pretty good for the Superpower. Superpower currently actually the best build for Buzzwole. And yeah, this looks quite good for Buzzwole. It's going to be enough. He's still in the bottom 5 of win rates, so Buzzwole still needs some love. It's just a very difficult to balance Pokemon, because when this Pokemon is actually strong, it's going to be very painful to play against, because he perma-stuns you, right? Buzzwole is going to perma-stun you. And now we have more. I'm going to zoom in a bit further so we can really look at it. We have Zacian, Sacred Sword stun duration decreased from 0.6 to 0.2 seconds. I still wish they would have completely removed it and just only leave the slow in. I think it would also still be totally fine. They're being very careful on Zacian, and I don't understand why. Some Pokemon have been gutted completely, like Absol got the nerf farm insanely hard, Mr. Mime got so many nerfs. But Zacian, they're just so careful at nerfing this Pokemon. I'm not sure why that is the thing. Maybe because they want the box art legendary to be powerful. And yeah, it's quite weird though of a decision for sure. Next up, we have Glaceon already getting nerfed. Icicle Spear Plus gets a 1% HP damage nerf on the +1, which I think is reasonable. It's quite nonsense how much this Pokemon does on level 10, how much damage it does. I still wish it was like maybe level 11 and 13 the plus versions of EVs, but I think that's a good start. Glaceon currently dominating the game for sure. And it's going to be quite annoying, you know, so important. Urshifu, Surging Strikes. We have a damage nerf on Surging Strikes as well, a scaling nerf, and a baseline nerf. Doesn't seem too crazy, but you know, nerfs are always nice for Urshifu as well, for sure one of the Pokemon that deserves to be nerfed. Next up, Lapras. They're going to nerf Lapras Water Pulse damage yet again for a second time instead of other. Actually, there's more nerfs. Okay, wait. So Water Pulse, less damage. Less damage baseline, less damage on the scalings, less damage per level. And then we also have the... Oh, what is this? This is just like... Okay, wait. There's so many things. Oh, that's the second version, right? Like the second waves. Also getting a damage nerf. And then we have Bubble Beam with a 2-second cooldown increase. Which is, I mean, that's quite the hard nerf. 2 seconds is for sure quite a lot for Pokemon. For any Pokemon, I mean, getting 2 seconds long on your cooldown. They make it much less per game, which also means less shields, because Bubble Beam provides the shield, right? So maybe it's time to try some Ice Beam on this Pokemon as well. And then Unite Move is also getting a very decent damage nerf. 100 on the base, less per level, and then also 30% less scaling. So maybe special attack specs might not be too attractive anymore on this Pokemon, we shall see. Dodrio. Dodrio is one of the Pokemon I would like to see nerfed, and it's actually getting nerfed. We have the boosted auto attack at the full gauge, getting a damage nerf. So only the boost auto attack, which, I mean, it's a nerf to try attack and to drill pick at the same time. Both of them actually do use the boost auto attack quite a lot. I feel like Jump Kick just stunts a bit too much, in my opinion as well. It's very difficult to balance Pokemon, for sure. Like Speedsters in general are just very difficult to balance. But at least a Dodrio nerf I think is totally fair. That Pokemon has still been absolutely insane in these past weeks. Azumarill getting a very nice buff, and we're now from the crit damage. Crit ratio increased from 150% to 170%. So in case you know, Azumarill's passive is that if it hits one person, it always crits, right? And this crit damage is reduced though because it always crits, so they want to make it 200%, so they roofed it to 150%, and now it's up to 170%. So that's a pretty crazy damage increase, I have to say. That's going to be a lot of extra damage on Azumarill coming out. And I'm for sure looking forward to playing this Pokemon more again, because Azumarill is a very fun Pokemon. And then we have Aegislash. The ability stands changed. We get more defense on the Sheet form, I guess. More special defense as well. And then Shadow Claw is getting a damage buff. Okay. Shadow Claw is getting damage buff, and Shadow Claw Plus is also getting a damage buff. And then we have Delphox boosted attacks can now crit. I don't know what this is. Just probably just they found something and that's complete nonsense. But there's more I want to talk about in this patch as well. Or something that got a data mine. We're also going to have, not in this patch though, we're going to have 2 new held items. And there's something very cool I want to talk about, because I feel like that's something that has been lacking. These Pokemon are going to be from an event, so it's not going to be actually something that necessarily gets into the game. This is just an event based, but this thing right here I want to talk about. We now have, and so this is usually how Wild Charge looks on this Zora skin, and this is the updated version. So they're actually updating skins now to actually have more than just Unite move or recall animations. They're actually making everything an animation now, which I think, for the price they're selling skins, I really thought this was the case. It doesn't matter what, right? So here's the normal discharge, and here's the discharge on the skin, which is very cool. That looks very sick. I mean, this is something they should have done much earlier, and then maybe I would have even bought skins, because I felt like they were always so lackluster. They just didn't have enough animations for the price they sold these skins at. Was complete nonsense. So yeah, it's gonna be very cool. We also saw, I think, like a Spark or something. Spark also got upgrades. So even the basic moves, like here, you can see this is the new Spark. Looks much better. That looks actually so good right here. That is so nice. Big fan of this change. We're also getting replays. So we're gonna get replays into the game. Obviously, but this looks kind of bad right now. But yeah, we're getting replays into the game that you can save. There's a lot to read right now. If you want to read through it, you can pause the video and read through it, because I'm not going to go over all of this now. But there's going to be a replay function where you can save replays. I assume it's probably only going to be on phone or mobile. I doubt the Switch can do that, but yeah, we will see. That's going to be nice for like coaching as well, or me maybe going back to watching you guys play games and, you know, coaching you guys over replays. It could be quite nice. And yeah, so that's pretty hype. This is going to be the next patch. Let me know in the comments what you think about this patch. I think it looks quite much better than the one we just had. We have a lot of nerfs for Pokemon like Zershing, Glaceon, Urshifu, Lapras, and Dodrio, which I think are very fair. Sableye, I mean, I don't mind Sableye getting nerfed. This Pokemon should not be in the game. And yeah, guys, have a good day.